Foyle Sports Sound with Desi McCallion.
European football is back at Brandywell, and Derry City welcome HB Torshavn all square from last week's first leg in the Faroe Islands.
We got a bit of momentum in the game and got a bit of control, and we created a few opportunities off the back of it and played well second half. So if we can replicate the second half performance for 90 minutes, then we'll give ourselves a chance.
The 2023 Foyle Cup has been a festival of football all week. We'll have the latest as the various age groups reach their final stages.
Yeah, look, it's an incredible tournament. I'm amazed the amount of teams. I think it's nearly 600 teams. They've come from far and wide. It's going from strength to strength, and it's obviously a big boost for Derry and the surrounding counties as well. It's an amazing tournament.
And the 151st Open Championship is underway. We'll have the latest from Hoylake, where Tommy Fleetwood is among the leaders.
Got hold of my game a bit, started hitting it in the fairways, started taking control a bit more, and got on a great run in the back nine. But it's, to get off to a fast start's great, and we'll try and build on that for the rest of the week.
Good evening and welcome to Foyle Sports Sound on another big European night here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. I'm Desi McCallion. Also in the programme, we'll have a reaction to this morning's Women's World Cup opener, where hosts Australia took on the Republic of Ireland. We'll keep you up to date with the other games in the Europa Conference League tonight. Glentoran, Derry City, Dundalk, St Pat's, Linfield and Crusaders all in action. But first to our main feature, the game here at Brandywell between Derry City and HB Torshavn. It's scoreless from last week's first leg in the Faroe Islands. So let's see who manager Rory Higgins has placed his faith in for tonight's second leg. The man with the details is Eric White.
Well, thank you, Desi. He's made two changes. Will Patching and Jimmy McGonigal come in for Shane McElhinney and Danny Mullins. Higgins went with a 3-4-3 formation in the Faroes, which he felt gave Klaksvik plenty of success against HB Torshavn, a game he watched live, but of course he quickly reverted back to the 4-2-3-1 when it clearly wasn't having the desired effect, and that's how he starts tonight, with Brian Maher in goal. The back four of Ronan Boyce, Mark Connolly, Cameron McJanet and Ben Doherty. Midfield, Cameron Dummigan, Sadhu Diallo and Will Patching, and then it is McMullen, Duffy and Jimmy McGonigal, the front three. As for the visitors, Torshavn, they name an unchanged team. They did come the closest to scoring in that tie when Emil Berger hit the post in the first half. So for them, they've got Morsk in goal, who is their number 2 goalkeeper. Their back four of Sorensen, Vardam, Askham and Davidson. In midfield, it's Justinason, Soilu and Berger. And their front three is Samuelson, Jonsson and Borchers, although I'd imagine they will be a bit more conservative than that. Their top scorer, Mikael Dahl, was the notable absence from their starting 11 last week with injury, and again he just has a place on the bench. Kickoff is at 7:45 and it has to be finished tonight. If it's a draw after 90 minutes, and remember, away goals don't count anymore in Europe either, so if it's still a draw after 90 minutes, we will have extra time and then possibly penalties. Let's hope it doesn't go that far.
Let's hope not. Thanks, Eric. Alongside us, as always, in the commentary box, a veteran of quite a few Derry City's European adventures, former striker Liam Coyle. Liam, team news, no Patrick McElhinney, but strong enough lineup.
Well, there's a strong enough lineup, as I think. Obviously, looking at Patrick, trying to keep him fresh. A lot of games coming up now for the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So you don't want to burn him out. And these games now, obviously, thanks that the team he's putting out tonight is good enough to win this time.
If Derry are to have any aspirations, they need to start better than they started last week, and this team's track record on the road in Europe is not good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I watched the match last week. I didn't think they were great, to be quite honest. I think Derry were just too conservative for the first half an hour. I think if they had to come out with a bit more intention in their play, they probably would have got an early goal. But as the game went on, they did come into it. But you think if Derry can get a goal here in the first 10-15 minutes, then they will make their night more comfortable, because I don't think this team are good enough. They come here and win outright.
Do you think, there's an expectancy here, and there has never been questions asked about anything here, but there is an expectancy. There's a decent crowd on the ground, and they all expect Derry City to win. That brings added pressure.
Well, it does, but it also brings an excitement. There's the players. You know that you're not coming here against a team that's going to dominate the ball. They're not going to outplay you. They're not going to outmuscle you physicality wise. They're a team that's probably below you if you were looking at like that there and league standards. So everybody knows, because football now has become so small. Everybody knows about every team in the world now. So these Derry fans have been doing their homework, so they know they're not a great side, but you still have to go out and be professional, get the job done, and then enjoy it then as the game goes on.
Throughout the season, and it was just something we mentioned just before we came on air, Derry City have been relatively slow starters in games. They have to be on the front foot from day one here, minute one.
Well, I think they will. I think that's why he started the way he has. The lineup he started, I think he's looking for a bit more energy to get at them, not let them settle in. They're not going to come here and play through you, and they're going to sit and make it tight. So really be looking for legs, energy. Get the crowd going for the first 10 minutes, get them behind you, and then probably hope if you get a goal, then that changes the whole dynamics of it.
How important in nights like this, because they are nervy occasions. It's not just domestic league teams that you're familiar with. The first goal can settle nerves because these are different kinds of games.
Well, European games are in the past you were always playing against teams possibly a bit better than you, so you had to be a bit more cautious in the way you approached it. You didn't want to come out and concede too early, otherwise you knew you were up against it. But in these early rounds now against teams like this, you're as good as them, so you've got to be brave. You've got to go out and really take the game to them in the first 10-15 minutes. As you said, Derry have been slow starters here all season. It's allowed teams to come here, sit in, dig in. Derry then become frustrated. So that's the last thing Derry want. Derry want to get off to a good start, get the crowd behind them, as I said, and then if you do get that goal, then the whole mood changes round the ground as well. But the longer it goes on, and there's a bit more tension in Derry's play, that's when mistakes happen.
What did you make of the Faroese side last week? Because first 20-25 minutes they actually looked okay, but the record, as I've already said, on the road, they're not good travellers.
Well, they didn't. I have to say they didn't look great, does it? And from what I've seen, I think Derry helped them the way they lined up last week. I think if Derry had went out in their normal formation and went and played that way and had a go at them early, the game might have been different. But as I said, as the game went on last week, Torshavn were happy. Derry already created a couple of chances. Could have got something out of it, but their overall play wasn't great. And as you say, their away form. You expect them to come here tonight, and Derry really going at them because of that away form.
An important aspect of a tie like this, away goals don't count. So essentially, there isn't the pressure on to keep a clean sheet and worry about one end of the pitch when you should be worrying about another. But that does favour Derry as well.
Well, that's the only good thing about European football now. Away goals, change the way teams played. It doesn't really matter now if you go a goal behind. It's away goals doesn't matter. There's a fear sets in when you do play in Europe, and you can if you can see the goal, you're really pushing to try and get it back into the game again, and then you open up chances, which has happened to us in the past. And but now it's an even Steven. Everybody's the same now. There's no for one team or another, there's no extra incentive. You just got to play. It's another match. You just got to play it the same way. And Derry are at home, so you expect them to play that way.
Call it.
I'm going for Derry 1. I think looking at them last week, I think Derry grew into the game as it went on. It just didn't happen quick enough. But I think tonight will be a different story.
Liam Coyle for the moment. Thanks for that. Elsewhere in the Europa Conference League first qualifying round, second leg ties tonight. They're already underway at the Oval. It remains Glentoran 0, Gazira United from Malta 0. That's 2-2 in aggregate from last week's first leg. 7:45 kickoff here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. Derry City against HB Torshavn from Faroe Islands 0-0 from the first leg. 7:45 kickoff also at Oriel Park, Dundalk 0, the Magpies from Gibraltar 0. At 7:45 also at Richmond Park, where St Patrick's Athletic Trail Luxembourg side the Doodle along by 2-1 from the first leg. And at the Stadio Loro Borici in Albania, it's Vlasnia 1, Linfield 3. The Blues 3-1 up from last week's first leg at Windsor Park. 8 o'clock kick-off at Seaview, Crusaders 2, Haka from Finland 2 from last week's first leg there. So chances for all 6 of the sides in action tonight. Let's hope all 6 can progress, but we'll wait and see just as the teams come out below us here into the tunnel. And with that, it's time to hear from Derry City's manager. Earlier this week I caught up with Rory Higgins and I began by asking him if he believes that they should have taken more from the first leg.
You'd have to think that, I suppose, given the second half, but it was important that we came back with a result. And I know they started the game really well, but probably after half an hour or so we got a bit of momentum in the game and got a bit of control, and we created a few opportunities off the back of it and played well second half. So if we can replicate the second half performance for 90 minutes, then we'll give ourselves a chance.
On reflection, are you disappointed that you didn't win the game out there?
Of course you'd be disappointed when we played a lot of the second half in their half and just couldn't find the finishing touch. But it's over 180 minutes. They've won their last 3 European ties at home before us, so they're no mugs, that's for sure. And they show that they have a really good quality, particularly in the first half hour of the game.
You must be confident.
Well, as I said, if we can replicate the second half performance earlier on in the game, then we give ourselves a chance.
What do you make of them? Where are their threats? Do you believe that they still pose a real problem?
Absolutely, they've got good players, good technical players, and if you afford them room to play, they can hurt you. They've players in attack who can hurt you. So as long as we're well organised, as long as we're well prepared, which we will be, then there's no doubt we'll need everybody on the ground. My most special memories as a Derry City player playing in Europe and the noise that the Brandywell can create, and it does something to the people in Derry. It really captures the imagination, and when you sign new players here, when you bring in new players to the club, you always talk about the impact that the crowd can have, and hopefully they can see that on Thursday night. And I think the Sligo game, the last league game here at the Brandywell, I felt our crowd played a huge part in getting us over the line.
With the crowd, expectancy brings an added pressure. Players are up for that?
Aye, absolutely. That's what we're in football for. You don't get involved in football to be part of something mediocre. You be involved in football to win, and that's part of the job in the industry that we're in. You have to win. You have to get results, and hopefully we can do that on Thursday.
Does a lot depend here on how Derry City start the game, or is it, are you happy enough just if the goal comes, 1 goal's enough?
No, well, we want.
Is it about just getting through the tie?
Aye, well, of course it is, but we want we're at home and we want to stamp our authority on the game, and as I said, if we can replicate the second half performance earlier in the game, then there's no reason why we can't get a big result.
That was Derry City manager Rory Higgins. We're about to kick off here on time at Brandywell. The Czech officials and referee Tomas Klima, they're about to get this game underway, so we'll cross to our commentary team of Liam Foyle and first of all Eric White.
Thank you very much, Desi. Rory Higgins hoping to deliver his first win in Europe as a manager, and with it progress through a round in Europe for the first time in 9 years. 2014 since they last made it through. This surely too good an opportunity to let slip through their fingers. Every seat in the house filled, and we're just waiting now on the referee's whistle to get this show on the road, and it's the away team HB Torshavn in all black who will start the contest. Derry City in their red shirts, thin white stripes, black shorts and white socks, defending the goal to or right, so they will attack the Brandywell road end in the first half of this second leg tie, which is 0-0 from the first leg in the Faroes. And away we go, and Liam Coyle always a special feel to the place on such European occasions.
Yeah, it definitely is, Eric, and I think Rory hit the nail in the head, you know, and he said it's special nights for Derry people, because, you know, you don't realise it when you're involved in it, when you're going to play again. So it's important that when you do get into these positions, especially against a team that you have a chance of winning against, that you pick that opportunity.
Well, if Derry needed a warning that there's still work to do in this tie, just look at last night's result, where the champions of the Faroe Islands, Klaksvik, went to Hungary and beat Ferencváros 3-0 in Budapest after the first leg finished goalless. And earlier today, B36 Torshavn went to Estonia and beat Pede 2-0 after extra time, after the first leg there finished 0-0 in the Faroes as well. Let's hope it's not an omen for what's to come over the next 90 minutes or so here. Derry make 2 changes for this game tonight. Will Patching and Jimmy McGonigal into the side in place of Shane McElhinney and Danny Mullen. So Maher in goal as he just thumps that ball forward into the opposition half. The City goalkeeper, the back four in front of him, Boyce, Connolly, McJanet and Doherty. Then it's Dummigan, Diallo, Patching, McMullen, Duffy and McGonigal up front, getting the start tonight. He was left out of the first 11 in the Faroes, despite scoring in their league game just before it when they beat Sligo here by 2-1. It is Kups Kuopio of Finland who await the winners of this tie tonight, with the first leg of that game to be played on the home ground of whichever team wins here tonight. 2.5 minutes gone, 0-0. As for the Faroes, they're unchanged. So a quick run through their team. Morskin goal, Sorensen, Vardam, Askham, Davidson the captain, Justinason, Soilu and Berger the midfield, Samuelson, Jonsson and Borchers. It was Berger who came the closest of the two teams in the first leg to scoring. Throw in taken, Duffy towards the byline, pulls it back, and it was McMullen down. Then Boyce with the follow-up, blocked by the Torshavn defender. It was a sliced effort initially from McMullen, then it dropped into the path of Boyce. He struck it first time, blocked though by the Faroese defender.
Well, it's just a throw on there, like the fullback Mickey Duffy just spins him, throws it on, Mickey just drops it under the hole there, and as I say, McMullen just mishits it and it scoops to the far post. Ronan Boyce making that up, he really should have scored, to be quite honest, right? Because he's a clear shot, but you got to give the Torshavn defender a bit of credit. And now he blocks it well, but it's going right up the other end here now, and you've got a corner. That's right. Should be one up.
It's gone straight up to the opposite end of the pitch, and the visitors have forced the first corner of the game. The first goal of the night concerning any of the League of Ireland or Irish League clubs has come at Oriel Park. Dundalk have gone 1-0 up against Magpies. Pat Hubin with the goal there, that 0-0 after the first leg. In comes the corner kick right in on top of Brian Maher, who shows good hands and makes a clean catch. So almost 4 minutes played here on BBC Radio Foyle. Europa Conference League, first qualifying round, second leg. You have to go back to July 2014 for the last time Derry have won here on home soil. They've got a bit of defending to do here, as Maher has to come out quickly to get to the ball first ahead of Borchers, and he sends it deep into the opposition half, where Vardam, the centre half for Torshavn, with what looks like a pretty heavily strapped left wrist, wins the header. But that victory, which was against Aberystwyth Town 4-0 here, they went through 9-0 on aggregate, a scoreline which remains a record for a League of Ireland club in Europe. And the manager on that evening, Peter Hutton, just a few yards away from us here, working for LOI TV. Here's Morsk, the goalkeeper, sends it out wide, and he's put too much elevation on that one. It drifts out for a throw in. Once again, he starts tonight with their international goalkeeper, the Faroese international goalkeeper, who is a guest son, not deemed fit enough to start. Boyce out, jumped there in the right back position, but McJanet nods it back to his goalkeeper, Maher. It's a big night for the League of Ireland and Irish League clubs. Linfield, so many matches evenly poised, and it's going to be really interesting by the end of the night to find out, to see which teams have gone through, which are out. Of course, both Shamrock Rovers and Larne exited the Champions League this week, but they remain in European competition. They dropped down to the Europa Conference League, but there was some criticism of the League of Ireland results away from home, none of them getting any victories. So ball has gone out for a throw in on the far side, and it's played into Brian Maher at Larne, particularly unlucky against HJK Helsinki. Joe Thompson, the former Derry City man, scoring late on to force that tie at Solitude into extra time last night, but the Finnish team scoring in extra time to send them through 3-2 on aggregate. Shamrock Rovers never really put up a fight against Breidablik from Iceland, losing both legs home and away, and they will now actually play Ferencváros, the team from Hungary, who were knocked out by Klaksvik, the Faroe Islands champions, last night. 7 minutes played, 0-0 it remains on the night and in this tie. Here is Justinason, bit of a tangle for possession in the midfield, and now Doherty's got Jimmy McGonigal away. McGonigal running down the right side of the penalty box, needed a bit more support, played it right across the face of the goal, and it goes out behind for a goal kick.
A good ball on behind, using McGonigal's pace, and he's just running out of an angle to get a shot away, and to be fair to the Torshavn defender, he just runs him down, and you can see what Jamie's trying to do, trying to put it back post, but puts it out. But to be fair to Torshavn, it's been a decent start from them. They've settled in well. You just expect Derry as the game goes on to grow under it, but so far very little in it.
They are the champions of the Faroe Islands Premier League on 23 occasions, but haven't won the title since 2020. Ronan Boyce has taken a blow to the head, so he's down injured on the far side of the pitch. Michael Doherty, Michael Higgard, I should say, the Derry City physio, poised to go across to treat him if required, but Boyce back on his feet again. They've played 63 European ties since their very first fixture in the UEFA Cup back in 1993 against Jelgava from Latvia, but only on one occasion have they won on foreign soil. Have they won away from home? That was against Podgorica from Montenegro back in 2021, when they won 2-0 away from home and 4-0 at home. But that aside, they have never managed to win away in Europe. St Patrick's Athletics' task has got a bit more difficult as well. They were trailing 2-1 from the first leg in Luxembourg against Dudelange, and the side from Luxembourg have hit the front at Richmond Park early tonight. So St Pat's 0, Dudelange 1, 3-1 to the side from Luxembourg in that tie. So a couple of early goals involving the League of Ireland teams. Mixed fortune so far as we edge towards the 10th minute of this contest here. As I was saying, Derry's last win here back in 2014, and since that they have been knocked out by FC Midtjylland from Denmark, Dynamo Minsk from Belarus, Ritteri from Lithuania, and Riga from Latvia, all at the first hurdle. So they'll be very determined to change that here tonight against HB Torshavn. Their only victory in that phase of matches came when they won 2-1 away to Minsk, having lost the first leg under Kenny Shields by 2-0, and they went out 3-2 in aggregate. Lost to Riiteri in Lithuania 3-2 after extra time. That was a one-legged tie during the COVID season. Never really were in with much of a shout last year when they lost both legs to Riga by 2-0. Derry have won a free kick about midway inside the Torshavn half, right on the far touchline. So a chance for Derry to send forward their two centre backs, who make their way towards the penalty area. Now, all seated here tonight, so about an attendance of 3,700 inside the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium for this game. No standing allowed for a European tie, as this free kick is sent in, headed high up in the air, and then towards the goalkeeper and off the top of the crossbar, and it's going to be a corner kick. And that was Cameron McJanet who had the headed effort and the closest to a Derry goal in this tie. 12th minute of the game. So Duffy to take the corner kick. In swinger with his right foot. Instead he rolls it along the ground towards Ben Doherty. Back to Duffy. Duffy swings in a low cross, but Torshavn are able to get it away up towards the halfway line. Dummigan's headed clearance finds Maher, who's long way outside his penalty area, lumps it forward. Askham with the header. Doherty then back into the Torshavn half, where the number 22 Jonsson is attempting to bring it under control, and they've got a throw in on the far side. Almost 1-0 there, Liam.
Well, it was just a looping header, wasn't it, Eric? It was a good ball on from Patchin from the set piece out on the right, and then they don't clear it properly. Derry headed back on, and McJan at the end just loops a header under the top keeper's right hand post. It's hard to say where he got a touch from here, not because it's come off the top of the bar, but the referees give a corner for it. But that's what you want from Derry. You want to put them under pressure from when you get into dangerous areas like that.
13 minutes played. Derry City 0, HB Torshavn 0, and here is McJanet with the captain's armband, of course, in the absence of Patrick McElhenney, and he finds Doherty down this left hand side now, the former Larne and Coleraine man, but runs right into the Torshavn central defender Vardum. Comes back out here to Duffy, edge of the penalty area, rolls it towards Patchin, who lays it out towards Doherty, and his attempted cross comes off a Torshavn defender, Lars Sorensen, and that goes out for a corner kick. Patchin, of course, who did not start last Thursday night in the Faroe Islands, but did come on as a substitute at half-time. In from the start here tonight is Patchin, who scored a couple of goals in Europe for Dundalk against Levadia Tallinn. Here is Duffy with the corner towards the back post. Conley up for it. He appeals to the referee first and then to the assistant referee, but it drops into the arms of Morsk, the Torshavn goalkeeper, who's all in blue. Played in their 2 league games prior to their European tie. Now they don't come into these European fixtures in the best run of form. They had 2 defeats and a draw. Here is Dummigan now coming forward. It's just beyond Jimmy McGonigal, who does acknowledge the attempted pass through from Cameron Dummigan.
And you can just see the way Derry are lining up, Eric, but more intent in their play tonight than it was in the first 25 minutes last week. And they're more or less playing with a front 5, and not letting Torshavn come out with the ball, and they're having to go long, 1 and 2nd balls, and then they're on the attack again. So you can see what Rory's trying to do. He's trying to get this put this game to bed very quickly.
Derry first qualified for Europe back in 1964. They've only progressed on 5 occasions. FK Lynn, Gothenburg and Gretna in 2006, Skonto-Riga in 2009 and Aberystwyth in 2014. Ball kept in play by the right back Sorensen, but it's picked up here now by Duffy. Duffy back towards Cameron McJanet. So they found success in Europe. Pretty hard to come by. Here is Diallo. Diallo back to Connolly. Your last European involvement, Liam, I think, was at the Maribor game in
we had
97.
We had chances our 2003.
That was Apoel, out in Cyprus.
Maribor was out there, but we should have bit Maribor here. We should have bit
that was in the Champions League.
That was in the Champions League. You know, we absolutely battered Maribor here, and we lost 2-0 here, and then we lost 1-0 out there. So. Oh, great ball.
Duffy threads it in towards the box, towards Will. Patching, looking to create the space to get the shot in. Duffy doing likewise, but crowded out by 3-4 Torshavn defenders who just get around the ball and limit the space for Derry's attacking players. Here it is towards Cameron McJanet. Of course, that Apoel game out in Cyprus, Liam, where you lost 2-1. Gary Beckett scoring an away goal there for Derry, which I think was their first away goal in Europe as a League of Ireland side.
Yeah. It was a cross, Eric. And I keep telling them that 20 years later. But the thing about it was we went out there and done a job on them when we come back here, and we thought, but like tonight we think, we're favourites, they won't go through here now.
McGonigal looking to get on the end of this through ball, but it's a well-timed challenge, and it had to be, didn't it, from Askham, the 28-year-old defender.
Well, Derry's well on top here, aren't they? Like Torshavn they're defending their box now. They're not even trying to get forward. I think they know if they can see the goal early in this game, then they're going to be out of it. So they're trying to just stifle Derry as much as they can.
Derry with the closest chance so far coming from the head of Cameron McJanet. He now has the ball at his feet as he plays it across the halfway line to Mark Connolly, who made his debut in European competition last week in that 0-0 draw. Patching clips it over towards Duffy. Duffy towards the byline, looks to pull it back, away by Davidson, the captain. It's a lovely ball initially from Patching to find Duffy on the left side here.
Mickey Duffy is the fullback, and it's spun every time. Eric, he doesn't know where to go. Follow him in, and every time Mickey goes on, he's just spinning around, and the ball's going over the top. And no surprisingly, Derry Strand is coming down this left hand side with Ben Doherty, and Patching just linking up with Duffy as well.
Duffy looking more menacing than those bunkers at Hoylake. Here's a throw in for Torshavn over on the far left hand side. 18.5 minutes gone on the clock, 0-0. The Torshavn manager down there looking fairly relaxed as he has a chat with his backroom staff. Jakob Johansson now leading the team into European competition for the first time. He was only appointed as their manager back in April. They are currently third in the league table, 11 wins from 16 games, 13 points behind the runaway leaders Klaksvik. Last year they were eliminated by Newtown from Wales on penalties. They won the first leg, the home leg, 1-0 to take the throw in. He's had some pretty big European nights with Coleraine, of course, in the not too distant past. Against Maribor, scoring the winning penalty to send them through, and he also scored a couple against Motherwell as well in the following round before they were eventually knocked out. Here's Diallo. Diallo's long searching pass for Patching is cut out. Now the Faroes side looking to get Borchers away quickly here, but Maher, alert to the situation, is out of his box quickly. And now here in the pink boots down this right hand side, involving the Irish League club so far tonight. Glentoran at home to Gazira from Malta. 2-2 that one from the first leg. And Crusaders 0-0 against Haka. That one also 2-2 from the first leg. And Linfield in the heat in Albania are drawing 0-0 against Vlasnia. They're 3-1 up. Duffy with the cross towards the back post. Diving header from McMullen. It is coming in from the right wing, but he couldn't keep it down, and it's over the Torshavn crossbar.
Well, again, Duffy and Doherty linking up down this side. This time it's Mickey Duffy comes inside, and it's Ben Doherty makes a run on the outside here, and again, ball on behind the fullback again. I don't know, he must be still in the plane, because everything is just going over his head here, and it's a great ball back post by Ben Doherty. McMullen just can't generate the pace to try and put it back on the far post, and goes over the bar. But they're well on top here.
Well, they've been here since Tuesday. Have Torshavn. Here's Connolly now into Dummigan, back to Cameron McJanet. So close to that early goal. He hasn't been on the score sheet yet for Derry City this season since he scored those 2 goals in the FAI Cup final. Doherty looking to pull it back close towards the byline. He'll settle for the corner, equalising goal for St Patrick's Athletic. So they're hauled themselves back into that tie once again, 1 each. I think that's 3-2 now. They trail on aggregate. Corner for Derry. Attacking the goal to our left hand side. It's an own goal, I think, is it? It's gone in. Derry have taken the lead. Diallo has headed it past the goalkeeper, and the breakthrough has come in this tie at last, as Derry City's European campaign finally has liftoff. Midway through the first half, the corner whipped in from Michael Duffy into a packed penalty area, and there was Sadou Diallo, who stooped low and nodded it into the net for his first goal of the season, and Derry lead 1-0 on the night and 1-0 on aggregate, and the pressure eases.
It's a soft goal, isn't it, Eric? It's just a ball put into a dangerous area, but there's that many bodies down there. As you said, Diallo's had it bent down. He's in the 6-yard box. The keeper doesn't come off his line to even come and punch it, and Diallo, and as you're right, we thought it was an OG to start with. Thought one of the defenders had got his head there, but it looks like Diallo was just stooped down, and he's just planted in the bottom corner. But to be fair, Derry have been well on top here, just well deserving of their league, but it's a poor goal they concede from a set piece.
Well, it is the crucial opening goal in this tie, as Torshavn look to come forward immediately to try to respond. We're going to get a long-range effort here from Justinason, which drifts wide and off target. Well, you can't say that the goal hasn't been coming, because Derry have bossed this opening 25 minutes of the contest. McJanet and McMullen both coming close with headers, but Diallo showing them how it's done, and the Englishman makes it Derry City 1, HB Torshavn 0, and sets City on their way here. Here's Duffy now looking to break down the left hand side. That's the first goal conceded by a team from the Faroe Islands in Europe this season. Justinason now bringing it forward for the visitors, pushes it out wide over on that left hand side to Johnson, overlapping fullback. Cross comes off the Derry player, and it's Maher who's trying to prevent it from going out for a corner kick, but he's been fouled, it would seem, and he's just down hurt off the pitch at the moment with a bit of a shoulder injury, but he's okay. He's back up on his feet again, and that will be a goal kick. So City leading here 1-0, 25 minutes gone on the clock, and it's Diallo who is credited with the opening goal in this tie. Maher towards Duffy. Duffy just looks for the flick on. The centre back Vardam nudges it back to his goalkeeper. Connolly calls for that one. Oh, it is a backward header. Almost had Patching in there, and a huge let off for Sorensen, the Torshavn right back.
Well, Patching's just making his way out there. He wasn't even involved in the play, and he's offside of it if he doesn't touch it. But the fullback, who's had an absolute howler of a start, I have to say, he's headed it back, and as Patching's coming out, he just loses the ball as he's coming out and can't get a hold of it. Otherwise, he's in goal. But the fullback is having an absolute nightmare.
And you feel, Liam, that Derry City have a chance here before half time to strengthen their grip in this tie.
You look at this team, you don't know, they haven't shown anything in the first 26 minutes. They suggest that they're good enough to come out and really have a go at Derry. So, unless Derry really fall to pieces and let them back in the game, then Derry should go on and win this game comfortably.
Well, Doherty gets the better of Samuelson here on the left hand side. Ball is back with Maher. Maher goes long with it. Dummigan gets a foot in there to win possession back for City. Here is Duffy to Ben Doherty. Doherty crossfield to Mark Connolly. Derry having qualified for Europe after finishing second in the league last season. FAI Cup winners as well, of course. Here's McJanet now coming charging forward. HB Torshavn, as we mentioned earlier, regulars in Europe. They finished third last season in the Faroese Premier League. Here's Diallo, the goal scorer. Rolls it into Patching. Patching sweeps it out wide for Boyce. Boyce cross in towards the penalty area. Casual little flick away by Askham. Now with 28 minutes gone, Derry 1-0 in front. And as it stands, heading into the second qualifying round against Kups Kuopio of Finland, with the home leg would be here next Thursday night, but a long way still to go in this tie. But certainly Derry very much looking like the strong favourites. Here's Dummigan back towards Boyce, moves inside with the ball, does the Ramelton man. Now it's with Connolly here, across to Cameron McJanet. Duffy, pass from Doherty doesn't come off. Borchers can bring it away here. Now it's with Justinason, and his attempt to send Jonsson away there. Well, his pass is overhit and it goes through towards Brian Maher. Diallo picks it up now, deep inside his own half. Forward for Duffy. Derry playing with much better energy and intensity in this leg as Diallo feeds it in towards the box, towards Patchin. He's looking to turn away from his man. Doherty picks it up, takes on the shot, and it rises just a foot or two above the crossbar. A good Derry move, and Doherty with the strike that's gone over the crossbar.
Yeah. Good play again. Patchin's playing much higher up the field, Derek, and he's getting himself under them wee pockets just in the box here when they're rolled under him, and he's holding people off and just waiting for runners. This time it's Ben Doherty's coming up on his right foot, always rising, goes over the bar. But Derry, every time Derry go forward now, they look like scoring.
We will bring you up to date with the golf during the half-time break, but it's a three-way lead at the top on 5 under par. Just trying to scroll through here to try and find McIlroy's score. Well, he's even par, playing the 18th is Rory McIlroy. So he's got a chance maybe to get himself under par going into round 2 tomorrow, when he will be, of course, among the early starters. Seamus Power in the clubhouse on level par also. Here's a chance for the Faroe Islands with Samuelsson, but the flag has gone up here. Of course, earlier today the Women's World Cup kicked off in Australia and New Zealand. The Republic of Ireland going down narrowly to Australia by 1-0. A penalty proving the difference in that match. We'll hear reaction from the Ireland manager Vera Pauw and the captain Katie McCabe during the half-time interval. New Zealand winning the other match, beating Norway by 1-0. The second match in that group of the Republics will take place at 3:30 in the morning. Nigeria against Canada, if you fancy getting up early for that. Elsewhere tonight across the Europa Conference League, Dundalk still lead Magpies by 1-0. That will be enough to put Stephen O'Donnell's team through into the next round, where they would, by the way, play the winners of that game between Glentoran and Gezira. So the possibility there of an all-island clash. And St. Pat's there drawing 1-1 with Dudelange in Luxembourg. So from Luxembourg, that one game's at Richmond Park, so that's 3-2 to Dudelange there over the 2 legs. Here is Askham. Looked as if he was going to see if that ball was going to run out of play for him before he eventually took charge of it. We've played 32 and a half minutes here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium on a perfect evening, and so far it's going pretty perfectly for Derry. 1-0 in front, and if they can add a second goal, they will be well on their way to advancing in this competition. Their opponents actually were the seeded team in this draw, where they're also ranked 83 places. I think it is above Derry, but that's due to their coefficient rankings. Here's McJanet now towards Diallo. Diallo infield for Will Patching. Equalising goal at Oriel Park. The Magpies have drawn level there, so 1 apiece the scoreline between Dundalk and Magpies from Gibraltar. Remember that one 0-0 from the first leg. Throw in, far side. Derry, of course, the first of it's all cup action between now and the end of the month. They've got Athlone Town to come here on Sunday in the first round of the FAI Cup as they begin their defence of that trophy. Samuelsson prevented from getting the cross in by Ben Doherty, who's defended this situation exceptionally well, and then he gets it forward to McGonigal, who holds off his man very cleverly and also gets a free kick into the bargain. Duffy just leaves it for Ben Doherty to take a little over 10 minutes off the first half to go. Here is Connolly towards McJanet. Looks for the diagonal ball for Duffy, and I think he will get to it. He does, close towards the corner flag. Galliaman holds it back here for Doherty to Diallo, 35 yards from goal. He's whipped one right over to the far side for Boyce. Derry knocking the ball about confidently, and is picked up in the midfield area once again by their goal scorer. Not the greatest of passes from him, but Sorensen didn't get his clearance all that right, and it'll be a throw in. There was actually a missed penalty by Bobby Burns in that game at the Oval for Glentoran, so the Glens there missing a big opportunity to take the lead in the tie. Doherty crossing towards the box, away by the skipper Davidson. Dummigan challenged for the ball by 2 Torshavn players, but did win it. Now it drops at the feet of Davidson. He plays it down the line towards Borchers, who's been fouled by Connolly, and that's going to be a free kick for the visiting team over in that left touchline, almost level with the 18-yard line. So a chance to cause some problems for Derry from this set-piece situation, where it looks as if it's going to be taken by Justinason, their number 7, one of their longest serving players. He's been with them now into his 8th season. Derry with a 2-man wall there just at the angle of the penalty area. Match official from the Czech Republic blows his whistle. Justinason sends it in towards the near post, actually comes off the boot of Boyce, and Derry clear the danger up into the Torshavn half. We have 37 minutes played here. 0-0 on BBC Radio Foyle. Connolly wins the header just outside his penalty area. It's picked up by Berger, and they are in fact forced all the way back to their goalkeeper with it. Here is Ascombe wearing the blue boots and at the centre of the defence for the visiting team.
Yeah, he'll be happy at that, Eric. Their energy has just dropped off a bit, which is going to happen. We're never going to keep that pace up for the full half, but yeah, he'll be happy the fact that Torshavn are just keeping the ball at the back, not really causing them any problems.
Here is Samuelson, crosses it in towards the penalty area. There was a glancing header from Jonsson, picked up over on the far side by Justinason. Now here is Soilu, their number 8. He plays it across to Sorensen, who has got room to get the shot on, and Maher always felt he had that one covered as it drifts just the wrong side of his left-hand post.
Yeah, well, it's just as I say that, Eric, the first time Torshavn come at a few men forward, and they break down the right-hand side. Good ball in, as you say, deflection. Takes it out the other side. Nena comes in, and the shot then from the Torshavn midfielders goes wide of Brian Maher's post, but that's the first time we've seen Torshavn even trying to commit more men forward than they have done.
First noteworthy attempt at goal. Derry lead 1-0, 6 minutes off the first half to go. Here is Diallo, that goal for him, his 3rd for Derry City on what is his 42nd appearance for the club. Was signed midway through last season from Forest Green Rovers. Here's Cameron McJanet with his left foot, sends it into the Torshavn half, but I'm afraid he's sent it out of play as well.
Well, I think for Torshavn, Eric, it's just a case not conceding the game before half time. That's what their coach would have been saying. Make sure you don't give it away. If you concede a second, game over.
And here's Jamie McGonigal, who's looking to score that second goal, takes on the shot, drives it straight at Morsk in the Torshavn goal.
Yeah, again, Torshavn trying to play out, Eric. Not good enough to do it. I think it's patching ones it high up. And McGonigal, I think he's waiting for runners maybe to come off him, and it just opens up for him. Instead of trying to whoop it far post, tries to play it near, goes under the keeper's hands, but nor half chance.
Inside the last 5 minutes now off the first half. Remember, reaction from Ireland's defeat in Sydney in the Women's World Cup, and reaction from the Open Golf Championship to come during the 15-minute break at half time. Tommy Fleetwood, one of the players that we'll be hearing from, he's got a share off the lead, has the Englishman on 5 under par in the clubhouse. And Torshavn just with a player down at the moment. Will Patching's also just stepped off the pitch to receive a bit of treatment as well before this game will restart, and when it does, it will be a throw-in for the home team right on the halfway line with Sorensen, who's also a defender with the Faroese national team. They were in Euro 2024 qualifying only last month, played a couple of home matches against the Czech Republic, which they lost by 3-0, and then 3-1 at home to Albania. He played in both those matches. Nice bit of footwork from Diallo in front of the Mark Farren stand down below us before he goes for the crossfield pass over towards Boyce. His cushioned header down to McMullen, who's been fouled, so free kick for City. Patchings had to come
I think it's his boots.
change of boots here, we're going to see.
I think he's busted one of his boots in that tackle there just there, because where the Torshavn player went down injured.
So it's waiting to get back on again, which he now does. Free kick has been taken. McMullen looking to beat his man down the right hand side, cross in towards the box, it's headed away, might come out towards Duffy, looks to take it on the volley first time, but gets the execution slightly wrong, does Michael Duffy, and it goes wide.
I want to make his better efforts there, Eric. You expect him to do better, but again, McMullen just being positive down the right hand side, going at the fullback and putting a dangerous cross on. They don't clear it, comes out the edge of the box, and Mickey gets it all wrong, screws it wide, but Derry are comfortable here at the minute.
Duffy has a couple of goals in Europe for Derry from his first spell here. It was back in that run in 2014 when they beat Aberystwyth, and he also scored in the away leg against Shakhtar Soligorsk in Belarus, a game they eventually lost by 5-1. Davidson hooks it away, 2 minutes plus whatever stoppage time left to go in the first half here. Derry with a throw in, far side of the pitch, midway inside another half. There's Dummigan, opts to go back to Connolly with it, and now it's Cameron McJanet to Diallo in towards Duffy. A second goal just before half time would go down very well indeed with the home fans, but again it's Duffy off target with his attempt, this time wide on the other side of the target, with a team effort from Michael Duffy. 28 Derry City goals in all, 4 so far this season. Of course, enjoyed some very good runs in Europe with Dundalk, most notably to the group stages. Here's Duffy again now, picks it up down the left hand side. Derry would have to go through 4 rounds in Europe, as all the clubs would if they're to reach the group stages. 3 qualifying rounds and then a playoff round, and they have a corner kick.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
a big ask. The only thing this does, like, it gives you, it puts money in your kitty for next year, you know. So, you know, if you can go through maybe 2 rounds, you know, that gives you a big boost for next year when you're going out to try and get players.
Corner for Derry here in the last few seconds of the first 45 minutes. And it goes. And the header has just gone wide from the City skipper Cameron McJanet. His second headed effort of this first half. We're going to have 1 additional minute, and I think he knows, Liam, he should have done better with that one.
Well, I tell you what, Eric, it's harder than a chance he had earlier on, and it's another just a floated ball on the back post. They don't defend it well, Torshavn, and you know, Cameron McJanet's just standing at the back post on the 6-yard box, and he heads it wide. He'll be disappointed he hasn't at least hit the target.
So we're into 1 minute of stoppage time here at the end of the first half. Derry continue to lead by 1-0 on the night and 1-0 on aggregate, as McGonigal chases this one down the left hand side. The Faroese defender Vardum falling over himself. Will be a throw in. Derry looking for one further chance here before the whistle sounds for half time, and it's going to be Ben Doherty throws it in towards the box. Duffy's going to take it on first time, and again it doesn't overly trouble the goalkeeper as the referee blows the half-time whistle. Derry leading by 1-0. The headed goal from Sadou Diallo on 23 minutes, and Liam Foyle, Derry halfway there to getting the job done here tonight.
Well, they are getting the job done here. They're well worth the lead. Torshavn have been poor, what they say, going forward especially. They created absolutely no threat at all. Derry have got the goal, and they've been in control for most of it. Just unfortunate they haven't got that second goal, but I think that'll come the second half.
Well, the second goal nearly came there right at the end with Cameron McJanet when he headed just wide. Do you see any threat at all coming from Torshavn in the second half, Liam?
Well, you would think, Eric, that they'll come out with a bit more intent in the second half, maybe push a few men forward. I think now at the minute they're getting caught and they're not committing the men forward. So as the game goes on, it's still 1-0. I think they might take a few more chances, but at the minute, Derry are comfortable. They're playing with one up front, causing the Derry back four no problems at all. Yeah, they've been on top in this leg, that's for sure. Torshavn posing few problems so far, and at half-time here at the Brandywell in this Europa Conference League first qualifying round, second leg tie, it's Derry City who lead 1-0 on the night and 1-0 for the tie. Desi, over to you.
Thanks, Derek. And to Liam back in good time for the second half. And Derry City are the only team of the Irish teams, north or south, that are leading tonight. The rest are all drawing. At the Oval, they're into the second half, and Bobby Burns' missed penalty on 18 minutes means it remains Glentoran 0, Gezira from Malta 0, 2-2 on aggregate there. Here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium, Sadou Diallo's goal in 23 minutes has Derry City 1-0 up on the night and 1-0 up on aggregate against HB Torshavn from the Faroe Islands. At Oriel Park, Dundalk won. The Magpies from Gibraltar won. Pat Hubin put Dundalk in front in 3 minutes. Joe equalised for the Gibraltar side on 33, and it's 1-1 in aggregate. Also at Richmond Park, St Patrick's Athletic won. Dudelong from Luxembourg won. Van Lingen put Dudelong in front in 9 minutes. Desprez with an own goal on 22 levelled for the Dubliners, but they trail 3-2 on aggregate. At the Stadium Loro Borici in Albania, it's Vlasnia 0, Linfield 0. They're at half time there. Also Linfield lead 3-1 on aggregate, and about half an hour gone at Seaview Crusaders 0, Haka from Finland 0. That tie remains 2-2 on aggregate. Players are beginning to filter their way back out here at Brandywell, and we'll take in some of the day's other football news. And Blackpool have been fined £35,000 and had an action plan imposed on them after their supporters directed sectarian abuse towards James McLean in the championship match in April. The Seasiders were also warned that any repeat could lead to an increased financial penalty and even being forced to play matches behind closed doors. The written reasons for explaining the decision, the Independent Regulatory Commission said McLean had reported abuse from one individual in the crowd to assistant referee Steve Meredith in the 8th minute of the match on the 15th of April. In the delay, as referee Thomas Bramall reported the incident to Blackpool's tunnel steward, a large section of the home crowd engaged in a further prolonged sectarian chant. The written reasons stated. Blackpool said in their statement that they would treat this matter with the utmost severity, and added that their intention to develop existing initiatives to become a more inclusive and proactive club both at home and at away fixtures. The written reasons highlighted shortcomings in Blackpool's handling of the matter, including the failure to make any announcements over the public address system at Bloomfield Road or to issue a statement immediately after the match condemning the abuse. The Commission said that the fine issued would have been higher had it not been for Blackpool's cooperation with the Football Association, admission of the charge and their engagement with the English Football League, as well as their good disciplinary record. In other news, Bournemouth, they've signed Hungary left-back Milos Kerkez from AZ Alkmaar for an undisclosed fee. The 19-year-old defender has agreed a long-term contract, the club said. Kerkez's arrival follows the signings of Dutch forward Justin Kluivert from Roma and Lyon midfielder Romain Favre. Midfielder Ibrahima Diallo has left Southampton after almost 3 years to join Qatari side Al Duhail. The 24-year-old joined the Saints in 2020 from Greenside Brest on a 4-year deal believed to be worth £11 million. Newcastle, they're close to agreeing a deal with Leicester City for midfielder Harvey Barnes. Negotiations between the two clubs have been ongoing for weeks, with the 25-year-old always likely to move on following Leicester's relegation to the Championship. Republic of Ireland international Matt Doherty, he's completed a return to Wolves on a free transfer. The defender signed a 3-year deal with the Molyneux outfit. Doherty left Wolves after a decade of service to sign for Tottenham in 2020, but departed Spurs last January on a free transfer, and he joined Atletico Madrid on a 6-month deal. And with that, the two teams are out on the pitch in front of us. We're awaiting the match officials. Derry City in the second half, they'll play what would have been down the hill in the past. They'll attack the greyhound track area of the ground, and they go into the second half. They've bossed most of the first half. They lead by a goal to nil. Sadou Diallo's header after 23 minutes, the difference between the sides. Elsewhere, 56 minutes gone at the Oval. Glentoran, they're still nil with Maltese side Gazira. That's 2-2 on aggregate. And first half stoppage time at Seaview, Crusaders nil, Haka nil, still 2-2 on aggregate there. So we're about to get the second half underway here at Brandywell, so we'll return to Liam Coyle. First of all, Eric White.
Thank you very much, Desi. Well, Derry City 45 minutes away from increasing their European earnings to €550,000. That's their guarantee if you at least go as far as the second qualifying round in Europe. We are underway here for this second half. We're pretty much surrounded here in our commentary position, just in front of us indeed, by delegates from UEFA and the FAI, and the match delegate who is from Portugal, being accompanied on her journey here to the Brandywell by former Derry City Vice Chairman board member Liam Hegarty, and John O'Shea as well has also taken in tonight's match, having been here in the city all week. His son playing for Altrincham in the Foyle Cup. It's been a real football frenzy here in the city throughout the week. Finals of course to come tomorrow and Saturday, but the Manchester United Premier League and multiple Premier League and Champions League winner just taking his seat down in front of us, along with Colm O'Neill. Of course, John O'Shea now coach with the Republic of Ireland senior team under Stephen Kenny. No changes at half time as Cameron McJanet chases back after this ball, the City skipper. So quick run through the two teams. Derry with Maher in goal, Boyce, Connolly, McJanet and Doherty, Dummigan, Diallo, Patching, McMullen, Duffy and McGonigal. And for Torshavn, no changes on their side either. They've got Morsk in goal, Sorensen, Vardam, Askham and Davidson across the back, Justinason, Soilu, Berger, Samuelson, Jonsson and Borchers is their lineup. Their top goal scorer domestically, Dahl, the Danish striker with 10 goals. He's been unfit for these ties, remains on the bench, didn't come off in the first leg. Cross in towards the box from Davidson I should say, headed away, comes out here now towards Sorensen. It's inside the Derry City penalty area, looking to get a shot away, and that's effort that's off target and well wide. Liam, what's your thoughts here? What's the greatest danger to Derry not going through here tonight? Because they're in a great position now at this very winnable time.
Well, the biggest danger now, Eric, is sitting back and thinking the tie is over, instead of going and just putting it out of sight and getting that second goal.
And surely that'll have been the message from Murray Higgins at half time.
He'll not want Derry dropping, because he just seen there Torshavn just 2 or 3 passes open Derry up, because they're maybe just moving players a wee bit more forward, getting them on them forward areas that might harm Derry. So Derry have got to play with a bit more energy, get them up the field, get Duffy and Doherty going down that left hand side again, and hopefully get that second goal.
Derry City's substitutes tonight: Kieran Cole, who came off the bench and very nearly grabbed the late winner in the Torshavn Stadium a week ago with his headed effort. Patrick McElhinney, Shane McElhinney, the two brothers, Brandon Kavanagh, Danny Mullen, Jordan McAniff, Cian Kavanagh, and the goalkeepers Tyg Ryan and Jack Lemoignan, as Dundalk have started the second half at Oriel Park in flying form. They've got a second goal there, so they take the lead 2-1 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate.
Oh, it's a great ball.
Brilliant control as well from Duffy. Sliding cross, McGonigal looking to get the header cleared away by Torshavn. I was looking down at the score, Liam, missed who delivered that ball to Duffy that you said was a magnificent pass.
Oh, it was a great ball from Conley, and again the fullback, he's just been caught under everything since the first whistle, and Duffy again, as we've seen, just waiting on and takes a touch and then puts a really dangerous ball in the box. But that diagonal's on all the time for Mickey Duffy.
Free kick for Derry, 10 yards inside the Torshavn half. Diallo's just picked up a little bit off a knock, and free kick is taken by Ben Doherty. John Martin with the second goal there for Dundalk to put them 2-1 in front. They're playing opposition from Gibraltar, so you'd have to say that that's a massive opportunity there as well for Dundalk, who by all accounts were a bit fortunate to only get away with a 0-0 draw in the away leg, but chance for them to progress as well into the Europa Conference League. So as it stands, you would have Shamrock Rovers, Derry City and Dundalk from the League of Ireland all into the Europa Conference League. From the Irish League, Larne, they dropped down into it as well after being knocked out of the Champions League, and Linfield doing a professional job so far, it would seem, in Albania. Remember, they're 3-1 up from the home leg and drawing 0-0 in the away leg so far. That game kicked off at the same time as this one, and I think Dundalk would go to Iceland in their next round. Here is Duffy looking to spin Sorensen over on the left hand side. McGonigal chasing after this one. 5.5 minutes played in the second half, picked up in the midfield area by Jonsson now just on the centre circle. It's with their right back over there, Sorensen, with the pink boots, where a few of them seem to be wearing very similar footwear, and there's back with their centre half Bardem with that bandaged wrist of his, and he was back to his goalkeeper Morsk. Floodlights on. Here is Davidson. Connolly, I think, in control of that one as Torchers just gets a toe to it and flicks it out for a goal kick. These players from Torshavn, mostly part-time players. Been told last week some of them are carpenters. There's a car salesman in there as well, a few students, as well as their international players. And remember, 2 teams from the Faroe Islands have already progressed in Europe. Klaksvik, the champions, having knocked out Ferencvaros in the Champions League, and B36 Torshavn, who won in Estonia earlier, to make it through to the second qualifying round. But here is another chance for Patching. Looks to steer it back for McGonigal. Chance still not away from Patching, then just to try to juggle the ball a bit inside the box before it's being cleared away. And Diallo now picks it up, and Torshavn still hanging in this tie here, because a second goal will most certainly, you think, kill it. Here is Patching now showing good determination to get on the ball here for the home side. Cross in towards the penalty area. Side footer away from Sorensen, and Samuelson does enough just to keep it from going out of play. Just for a moment it looked as if Patchin was in there, Liam, for what could have been Derry's second goal on the night.
I'm surprised he hasn't taken the shot one, I can be quite honest, because he's at a tight enough angle, but he's maybe going across it, but he's trying to pull it back into an area maybe where Mikey Duffy was coming forward on it, and the next thing you know, there's too many bodies here and they cleared. But
here's McMullen now attacking down the right side of the penalty area, and that's defended off Davidson last and out behind for a corner kick. 8 minutes played in the second half. BBC Radio Foyle on a European night here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium, leading by a goal to nil, and that is the aggregate score as well. Cross comes Ben Doherty here to take it. McMullen staying nearby as well. A bunch of Derry players going to attack it from the far side of the 6-yard area. They're going to have to restart it again. The referee feels that there's just too much messing going on with Connolly and Ashcombe getting involved with each other, and both now being spoken to by the referee from the Czech Republic. So this time Derry do get to take the corner kick, and it's taken short by Doherty, and McMullen back to Doherty again, clips it in towards the box, downward header. Well, it's going to be cleared away. Again, it was McJanet on the edge of it. He's going to stay up here as Doherty now takes on a shot, and that one just fizzes past the post. Well, what a strike that was from Ben Doherty on his favourite left foot, and it just swerved the wrong side of the post.
Well, he only had one thing in his mind as soon as he come out there, Mike. That's a really poor clearance. Ben, who played the first cross in, just held his position, and it's come out to him, and as he's just got it out of his feet before anybody closes him down. He's had it, as you say, at the last minute. It's just bent away from that post. Otherwise the keeper was stranded. He was getting nowhere near it, but a great effort.
Still remains 1-0. It's got a little bit more nervy though for Linfield in Albania, because the home team have gone in front there on 54 minutes at Vlasnia. So that now makes it Vlasnia at 2, Linfield 3 on aggregate. Free kick for Torshavn inside the centre circle. 10 minutes played in the second half here. Of course, Torshavn got knocked out by both Linfield and Glentoran back in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. And mention of Glentoran, they have fallen behind at home to Gezira from Malta. Yellow card, first of this second leg, to one of the Faroese players. That's their number 10, Samuelson. So he picks up a yellow.
Yeah, just a wee sneaky one on Mark Connolly as he's just tried to clear the ball. He's just left one there, and Connolly's caught with him. But and the thing about it, the referee has let a few challenges go, Eric, tonight. Very unlike European referees, and that's the first time he's had to pull his red card or his yellow card.
So just going back to that Glentoran scoreline, they're now trailing 3-2 on aggregate. Remember, Bobby Burns missed a penalty in the first half in that game at the Oval. How crucial that may turn out to be. These are high stakes games. Connolly now to bring it forward, chance to bank sizable money. McGonigal, he's beaten the offside trap, brings it under control brilliantly, and the goalkeeper makes the save with his foot, and McGonigal knows that should have been 2-0 and tie over.
He's done everything right, Eric. It's a brilliant touch from him. It's a great ball again over the top from Connolly, and he's done everything right. Takes it on his stride, keeper comes out and he's trying to find that back or far post. Keeper spreads himself and hits him in the leg and just goes wide, but that's the chance to kill the game. Now
at the other end, Davidson throws one in towards the penalty area. Duffy at the edge of the box, watches it bounce. Now it's with Doherty. He's been bundled to the ground, and that is going to be a free kick for the home side. Well, McGonigal had a lash at a water bottle behind the netting after he missed that chance. So close there to doubling Derry's lead here on the night. McGonigal, who's been the subject of some transfer speculation, it has to be said, over his future, with reported interest from Coleraine and Glentoran, but by all accounts determined to stay here at the Brandywell and almost put his team 2-0 in front here, and that search for this all-important second goal, which you feel would secure Derry's passage through into the second qualifying round and a tie against Finnish opposition. Here's Mark Connolly, crossfield pass to Duffy, hugging the left-hand touchline. You'd imagine Coops have representatives here at this game tonight. Here is Doherty now, pushes it forward. Referee will play advantage, will he? Duffy has kept the ball in play. Doherty stayed down. Duffy's been tackled at the edge of his box.
Card,
well, referee look a wee bit unsure as to whether it was an advantage for Derry or whether the free kick was going to be more beneficial. He's now just brought it back, obviously, for the
yellow card. Yeah.
Yellow card, yeah. It's the number 8, I think, is it Soilu? He's picked up the card. Yeah. It's definitely not Samuelson anyway, who's already on a yellow. Noise level lifts here. Cranked up a notch or two inside the Brandywell. Rory Higgins says the home support would have a massive role to play here tonight. Throw in for Derry. 16 yards from the corner flag over on the far side. Derry playing towards the Greyhound track in the second half, leading by 1-0 as we hit the hour mark. Ball's over on that far corner flag. Twisting, turning, hatching, cross, in it goes, headed away. Here's Ronan Boyce, chests it under control, takes on the shot, takes a deflection, bounces wide for a corner kick.
Yeah, well, that's much better from Derry now. You're right. You can see Torshavn now, they're just starting to bolt under the pressure a bit now, and Derry's just starting to go with a bit more energy, and there's no surprises down that left hand side.
Corner kick for Derry. Doherty will come across to take it. McMullen, the Scotsman, making himself available there as well for the short corner, and referee again has to delay the taking off this corner kick as St Patrick's Athletic have turned it around against the team from Luxembourg. They now lead 2-1. Adam Murphy's got the goal. That, I think, is 3-3 on aggregate. What a topsy-turvy match it is there. In goes the corner kick, and Connolly was always stretching to try and connect with his head on that one, and it's gone wide for a goal kick. So 61 minutes played. Derry in front.
Yeah, Derry subs starting to make an appearance here now. You're like all the subs up warming up here now, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few changes.
If St Pat's win tonight, it'll just prove how crucial that late goal was by Mark Doyle last Thursday night when they were 2-0 down. Could have been further behind, but that tie is level. Here is McGonigal. Referee says play on as the Torshavn defender takes a tumble, and then he couldn't bring it away from Vardum. It will though be a corner kick, and McGonigal looking so lively in this second half.
Well, again, he's done well there. They won that. It's just a long ball over the top from Cameron Dummigan, hooks it on. McGonigal with his pace in the centre, two centre halves now really struggling. McGonigal, instead of having a shot early, he tries to come inside. They manage to small it and get it out for a corner, but Torshavn are just hanging on here now.
Second half underway at Seaview. Crusaders and Haka from Finland 0-0. That match so far 2-2 on aggregate. Here's Doherty with the corner kick. A lot of air on it towards the back post, and the header from Cameron McJanet goes wide. The ball boys not in any great hurry to return the balls. Rather half-hearted attempt. That could be noted in the UEFA report. Here's a goal kick for Morsk, whose save just before the hour mark from Jimmy McGonigal has kept his team still in this tie, as Samuelson chases after this one. Maher outside his box, and he's hammered that one over the South End Park stand.
You Just hit that one of the Quarry Street there as well, is there?
Somebody's getting a free ball tonight.
There's no way that's coming back here, I'll tell you.
And a European one of that too. Hansen is about to come on here in the first change for Torshavn. He's a midfielder, 4th season with the club, and they're also going to bring on Moore as well. So 2 midfielders about to enter the fray for Torshavn, and their manager Johansson making a double switch here with 63 minutes gone. And for Derry City, Patrick McElhinney is about to come on as well. He's just getting some instructions from Murray Higgins down there.
He'll just be telling Patrick just to control it on there now at the minute. They don't want to lose control of it in the middle of the field and start dropping. Get Patrick on, get him on the ball, just keep the ball ticking.
So both teams at this crucial point in the game making changes. Derry have a throw in, which Ronan Boyce is going to take 10 yards inside the Torshavn half. McMullen, ball cleared away, and Boyce sends it back to his goalkeeper. Just to give listeners, Liam, a bit of an idea of what sort of a side or standard Torshavn are at, if they were playing in the League of Ireland Premier Division, where do you think they would be placed, Liam?
Well,
tricky one for you, but
looking at them, like you look like a team like Drogheda comes up here and plays some their way. You know, don't really come out to play, just try to keep it tight, don't give nothing away. They will remind you a bit like that there without the physical side. That, so, you know, I would say Drogheda would probably be a better side than them. So you're talking about maybe the lower reaches of the Premier Division, like, you know.
Well, they just had that one attempt on goal about 5 minutes before half time when Sorensen shot wide. Other than that, it's been a very comfortable night for the Derry goalkeeper Brian Maher. Derry making their first change now. Patrick McElhinney coming on. Not sure if the 2 Torshavn players have sat down again or not. Here's McMullen, quick feet from him. Doherty.
Ben Doherty has been absolutely
exceptional game. McGonigal beaten to the ball first by Fardham. So
you look at the way Ben plays. You know, he's a fullback, but he joins in so much that he gives you that extra man going forward. So you're more or less playing with 2 wingers, him and Duffy, and he comes inside. He gives you that option as a number 10 as well too. Patching's just going up here.
Yeah. So the first Derry change in the 66th minute here of the game, and it's Will Patching who's coming off to be replaced by Patrick McElhinney, who's made such an influence on Derry's performance in the second leg in the second half of the first leg. So too did Patchin as well, who came on at half time. But McElhinney, who's been having problems with an Achilles injury this season, is on for what Derry will hope is only 24 minutes off this tie remaining.
It's a nice luxury Rory has now. I like the fact that he can pick Patchin off and bring McElhinney on.
Torshavn looking to send the ball in towards the penalty area, just doesn't bounce for Soyle. It might do now. He ticks on the strike, and it went under the legs of 1 or 2 Derry City defenders, and it did force Maher into making a save. A yellow card there for Justinason, I think, the number 7.
Right, yeah, I must have said so. Yeah. But 8 yards, you don't control the game. A couple of sloppy clearances and a couple of bad bounces, and that could have went either side of Brian Maher, because he's taking a deflection. I think it's Mark Conley's just taking the piss out of the ball, and it's rolled onto Brian Maher's hands. But
yeah,
you know, that's how quickly this game can change unless you get that second goal.
Yeah, as much as Derry are on top, they still need that second goal to make absolutely certain. Another twist in the scoreline at Richmond Park, because Dudelange have got an equaliser there, so 2-2 on the night at Richmond Park puts the side from Luxembourg 3-2 in front now. 4-3 it is in front, yes. Maths, of course, always a weak point with me. I knew these aggregate scores would catch me out. Here is McGonigal now. And he's just out-muscled as the Torshavn team. So 1 goal difference anyway at Richmond Park. Here's Duffy now. Look at it, bring that ball under control. It just runs away from him at the crucial moment. And out comes Morse to gather it, and he rolls it out to his skipper, Davidson. Quarter of the match to go. Chasing after this is Borchers. I think Conley's had to concede no, it's a goal kick. Well, I have to say, I thought that was a corner. I thought that was a corner, but
it's a corner all day long.
And so did the Torshavn bench as well.
A corner all day long. I don't know how they've even missed that. It's not even close.
Definitely defended by Mark Connolly. Well, they were all off the bench there. Was the Faroese technical staff, and understandably why. Corners, precious opportunities for the visitors, who've carved out very few chances in this game. Ball cleared high up by Vardum. Be a Derry throw in. That Dundalk Magpies game, which sort of running simultaneously with this one. Dock leading by 2-1. Throw in for Derry, and Torshavn have got Hansen and Moore back up again, so looks as if this time they are going to make the double substitutions as Boyce brings it under control for Derry. Here to McMullen has measured that pass perfectly for Duffy. He's in a bit of a tangle with the Torshavn defender. The defender clears his lines, comes here for Dummigan across to McJanet. 20 minutes left to play here on BBC Radio Foyle and BBC Sound. Europa Conference League first qualifying round, second leg tie, and after the first leg finished 0-0, Derry are leading. They have a slender 1-goal advantage. Berger is coming off to be replaced by Hansen. Berger, who hit the post in the first leg early in the game, and the second change is Samuelson, who's coming off for Moore. Samuelson, one of the 3 players from Torshavn who are on a yellow card. Boyce to take the throw in down the right hand side. Big weekend of FAI Cup action to come, starting tomorrow evening. Dublin Derby, one of the standout ties, Bohemians against Shelbourne, and Drogheda play Sligo Rovers tomorrow night as well. 2 all Premiership ties. McMullen can't keep that ball in play. It's going to be a goal kick. Finn Harps begin their FAI Cup campaign tomorrow night. That's away to Kilbarrack United. On Saturday, big day for Cockhill Celtic, the Ulster Senior League champions and FAI Intermediate Cup finalists. They host First Division Bray Wanderers. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff. And then on Sunday, we're here at the Brandywell, Derry City against Athlone Town from the First Division. 5 o'clock kickoff. We'll be on air for the kickoff for that one, while also at 5 o'clock on Sunday at Oriel Park, arguably the tie of the round, Dundalk against Shamrock Rovers. And as it stands, we'll be here again next Thursday night for the first leg of the second qualifying round tie, which would be Derry City against Kuopio from Finland. But let's not tempt fate yet, because there's still 18 minutes to go, and it's still just the 1 goal that is the difference in this tie. And Torshavn have a throw in on the far side. They're playing towards the city end here in the second half, all in black, and we're going to get a long throw into that Derry penalty area. Doherty gets a head on it. The ball goes out towards the edge of the box. Shot fired in from Sorensen, but McElhinney's gone down hurt inside the box. Referee's whistle sound is going to be a free kick.
Well, they brought on a number 4, Eric Hansen.
Yeah.
And he's about 6'5", and you can just see what they're going to do now. They're just going to try and lump it up there, try and play off him second ball. He's playing in the middle of the field, and I'm not joking, he's absolutely massive. So Derry are going to have to do a bit of, if they don't get the second goal, they're going to have to do a bit of defending here from set pieces and second balls.
He looks as tall as Lamprecht, the South African amateur who's currently co-leading the Open Championship. Here's Diallo signalling for McJanet to take charge of that one. There is Hansen now, and here towards Jonsson, and a chance here at the back post, and Maher has to make the save to keep out Justinissen with a driven effort with his right foot, just to put the warning signs up for Derry there.
Yeah, again, just breaking through the middle there, like lack of protection from the two holding midfielders. They go through the middle, and you said Justinissen, it's just played into his path. Should be trying to go across Brian Maher, but again, another long throw here.
He's got 7 goals, Justinissen. He's our second top goal scorer behind Dahl, who's injured. Ball, Soilu looking to get the shot away. Oh, and it's been blocked. Well, Derry living dangerously right here, right now, as Torshavn enjoying their best spell in this game. It's been kept in play by Sorensen, back towards Davidson. Vardum, the centre back, is up there. Borchers looking to get on the end of it. There is the substitute Hansen, and Sorensen in there as well. And we're hearing just one or two in the crowd getting a little bit impatient, shouting for the Derry players to wake up. 15 minutes to go. 1-0 Derry lead. Throw in for Moore. It's going to be another one. Unfurled right into that 6-yard area. Lunging Torshavn player goes down. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty. Derry are on the break here though with McGonigal. Is he going to go all himself? Jimmy McGonigal. He's got McMullen over the left-hand side. Is still Jimmy McGonigal. Torshavn getting enough of Shirt's bodies now back behind the ball. McGonigal didn't have the support up alongside him. Dummigan comes now here towards Ronan Boyce over on the right-hand side. Back in play here for McMullen. Danny Mullen is going to come on, the striker for Derry, as they prepare to make a second change here. Now it's with Diallo. Doherty to Patrick McElhinney. Inside the last 15. Torshavn win the ball back, not fairly in the eyes of the referee, who gives Derry a free kick over in that left touchline and allows them to make this second change.
Well, McGonigal has to get a bit of credit there, because he picks the ball up in his own half.
He's coming off now.
He's coming off after that run, because Derry were under a bit of pressure there. You can see how the Derry players giving him a high five there, because they were under severe pressure. He runs the ball 70-80 yards, gets them up the pitch, and then they want a free kick on that thing. They picks the pressure off, so he's done his job.
I have to say before that, Liam, there was one or two, heart in the mouth moments for Derry though, wasn't there?
Well, there's that many bodies there. As I said, they're just trying to get the ball in the box now from long through one set pieces. They have a couple of big players there, and they're just trying to get second balls. And Derry have done well to defend it, but as you're right, it was hurting them out stop there, because they were just throwing their bodies in front of shots.
So McGonigal getting the high fives down there from his teammates as Derry take the free kick, and there's a total breakdown in communication over there between the two Ds, Duffy and Doherty, and the opportunity is wasted. So goal kick for Torshavn. 13 minutes of normal time to play. Lots of discussion going on in the away technical area. McJanet heads it up into the air. Mullen gives chase for this one. Keeper thinks about coming, then doesn't come, and then he asks for his defender to take charge of it, Vardum, and he does. Heads it back towards his goalkeeper And Soilu whips the ball now over wide on that right hand side as Sorensen advances down the right hand side, releases it towards Justinason. Ball pushed back again, but it's picked up, the loose ball picked up by Patrick McElhinney now with the captain's armband on him. Here's McMullen. I thought he was running into trouble, but he got a free kick out of it for himself, and he'll leave the ball for one of his defenders now to take the free kick. So as it stands, Derry City and Dundalk going through, St Patrick's Athletic going out, and of the Irish League clubs, Glentoran going out, Linfield going through, Crusaders going to extra time. At games running a bit behind this one though. Ball is long, all the way through to Morsk in the Torshavn goal. 11 and a half minutes to go. Fourth officials just explaining something to the Derry manager down there, Rory Higgins. Seen as his team score in Europe for the first time tonight. His 3 previous matches, 2 2-0 defeats and that 0-0 scoreline. Ball is overhit, runs all the way through to Brian Maher. Well, victory here tonight would mean Derry would have at least another further 2 consecutive weeks involved in European competition. Ball forward for Mullen. Hansen though wins it back. Now here is Borchers. Borchers just looking to slide in more there. Their other substitute, but pass is overhit. Runs out of play for a goal kick. Is the one goal going to do it? Is it all that Derry are going to manage tonight? Brian Maher sets the ball at the edge of his 6-yard box. They're into stoppage time at the Oval, so
that's a shocker of a result for them.
Well, it's going to be a big letdown for the Glens, that's for sure. At home to a team from Malta. Warren Feeney now of course in charge at Glentoran. Ball bounces awkwardly for Askham, the edge of his penalty area. Here's McElhinney, side foots it to Ben Doherty. Now it's with Duffy. Brandon Kavanagh has the tracksuit top off him, ready to come on for Derry's 3rd change of the evening. Connolly down here towards Ronan Boyce. Boyce in field, looks for the 1-2 along with McMullen. Finds Dummigan in a bit of space. First time cross into the box. It's headed away. Comes out for Diallo. We're inside the last 10 minutes. Derry lead 1-0 on the night, and that's the score in aggregate. And they've given it away. And it's Moore now looking to break forward here, and he's got away from the lunge of Dummigan there. Dummigan looking to track back. Moore slips it into Sorensen, advancing down from the right hand side, and Derry put it out for a throw in. It's not going to be a comfortable finish to this game, Liam. I don't think.
Look like it, Eric. They're making really hard work of it. Just too many passes. You know, one they've come out with it, and then they've tried to play another one on there. They've read it, and to be fair, the wee sub that's come on there, he's ran about 50, 60 yards up the pitch. Cameron Dummigan's looking, he's not getting booked because he's had a swipe at him, but
they have a long throw to defend in towards the near post, and there's a foul on Ben Doherty. That'll be a free kick to Derry. Wasted chance from the away side, who themselves are going to make a change. Matthias Prest is going to come on. First of all, I think we're getting the Derry change, and it's Brandon Kavanagh who's coming on for McMullen. So standing ovation here in the Mark Farren stand as McMullen is replaced by the Dubliner Brandon Kavanagh with 8 minutes here to go. And for Torshavn, they're bringing off Soilo, their midfielder, who had that shot saved by Brian Maher, and it's Prest who's coming on for Torshavn. Maher to take the goal kick. We're into the tense now, last number of minutes of this game.
It's been a patchy second half, Eric, I have to say. You know, right, they're still ahead and they're still, but they've made so much. They haven't been in control of this game at all the second half.
They're going to extra time at the Oval. Glentoran may well have saved that tie for themselves. They've equalised deep into stoppage time there. So that's 3-3 in aggregate. So extra time on the way at the Oval, it looks like. Jay Donnelly, I think, has got the goal. A priceless goal for Glentoran. Ball up long, headed away by Boyce. Derry have 6.5 minutes of normal time here to get this one over the line. Boyce keeps it in play as he sends it down the right channel, but Askham picks it up now, and dropping deep is Hansen, the big number 4 for them. Vardam over on that right hand side for Moore. Hansen has gone for a long diagonal crossfield ball towards their captain Davidson, swings it in towards the box, comes off the head of McJanet. Moore picks it up close towards the corner flag. He's surrounded by 2 Derry City players. He'll be looking to try and get a corner at least out of this if he can, but what does he do? He's fouled the Derry player over there, and that'll be a free kick to the home team. And just confirmation across the public address of Derry's next home fixture here, which will be the FAI Cup tie against Athlone Town. And Dundalk, it seems, have sealed their place in the next qualifying round, the second qualifying round. They've gone 3-1 up now against Magpies from Gibraltar, and that is the aggregate score as well there, 3-1. St Patrick's Athletic need a goal at Richmond Park if they're to keep their European hopes alive. What have we left here? 5 minutes. Nobody is leaving. This game remains still to be won. So, well, we're just hearing that the Glentoran goal has indeed been ruled out. So agony there at the Oval. Not quite sure what's going on, but it's back to 1-0 to Gazira, the team from Malta. Here is Mullen to Brandon Kavanagh. Looking to show some trickery here down on the right hand side in front of the Mark Farren stand. The spectators get to their feet down there. Oh, and then he's just run it out of play. Did Brandon Kavanagh for a throw in close towards the corner flag. Just maybe got a wee bit dizzy there in the end up. Here now is Borchers looking to bring the ball under control. McJanet, Diallo hooks it forward with the outside of his boot. McElhinney waits for it to drop, but the Faroese with Jonsson pump it high up into the air, and Davidson with the outside of his boots knocks it back towards his goalkeeper. He can't pick it up, but makes a good clearance of it, sends it into the Derry half. Boyce can only find Justinason, and now he looks it over to Sorensen. We've got less than 4 minutes here to play. Derry with a narrow 1-0 lead. Ball pumped up towards the edge of their penalty area. Connolly heads it away. Now it's back into the Derry penalty area again. Connolly in a race to get to the ball first, and he's been fouled by Borchers, who's frustrated with the referee's decision there, but that will be a free kick for Derry. And there's a lot of activity and a lot of technical staff and members of the respective coaching staff just all down on the technical area there. Final couple of minutes. Derry close to securing their passage through to the second qualifying round. Diallo's goal in the first half is headed effort as it stands. is going to be enough to send them through. We're going to see Jakob Thompson come on, and also, well, Dahl, their Danish top striker, they're going to throw him on here for the last couple of minutes. McJanet's underneath it. Presumably the Torshavn team, Liam, I mean, you just go with a formation of what, eight front men,
well,
or something.
I don't even think there's a name for it now, Eric. I just think it's just throw as many bodies on as you can and hopefully someone just falls to.
Well, they're coming forward here, edge of the box. It's Prest, one of their substitutes. They have a lot of players in the Derry penalty area. It's back now with Prest again. Derry have found themselves in this situation, just holding on now to a 1-0 lead. The Dudelange team are down to 10 men, but St. Pat's need to score in that game. Here comes the first change. It's Dahl who's coming on for Sorensen, so needless to say, that's a striker for a defender.
I think it's just maybe a bit too late now, Eric, if we're going that.
So Dahl, and the other change is Thompson, who is on for Askham. So a double change, last throw of the dice from the Torshavn manager. 89th minute. Throw in for Torshavn in towards the penalty area, away by Ben Doherty. Goal for Crusaders at Seaview. They're 1-0 up against Haka and 3-2 up on aggregate. Long throw into that Derry penalty area again. McJanet backpedaling, ball in the 6-yard area, cleared away. Well, it's pretty desperate stuff here now just at the moment. It was Dummigan who sent that one away from the danger zone. It's back in towards the penalty area again. Brandon Kavanagh heads it outside the box. It's picked up here now by Jonsson, their number 22. We're in the 90th minute of the game. We're very shortly going to find out how much stoppage time there's going to be. Derry 1-0 in front here, and they need to hold on to that lead, or else Torshavn goal would send us to extra time. Another long throw in towards the box. Hansen's up there. Who's it come off last? It's a corner kick. Just 3 additional minutes here at the end of this game.
That's when I say there's no injuries.
No injuries, no, just the substitutes.
Just a sub zone.
Thankfully for Derry. They would not want fancy 6 or 7 minutes of stoppage time here now at the end of this game. They've 3 minutes now to see themselves through, but they've got a corner kick here to defend as Torshavn attack the Brandywell Road end. In it goes. Brilliant header. One missed kick. Comes back across here now to Justinason. Whips it in towards the back post. Derry bodies throwing themselves at it, and relief because the referee has blown for a free kick for a foul on Connolly. And the chants of Red and White Army reverberate around the stadium here. They're nearly there. It hasn't been a comfortable watch in the second half at times, although McGonigal could have put them 2-0 in front and put the tie to bed, but they've 2 minutes here to win this tie, as Boyce has been pushed to the ground, and well, they're absolutely furious down there are the Torshavn bench as it starts to just spill over a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't concern the Derry.
No, they don't need to get involved. They need to get involved at all. Last few seconds now as the noise cranks up even further here. I'm seeing another Glentoran equaliser, whether that stands or not. Bobby Burns maybe has made amends for his penalty miss, but would clear all that up after the final whistle. We're into the last few minutes here. Derry almost there now. Chairman watches on here beside us up in the commentary box. Free kick. Maher takes it, pumps it up towards the edge of the Torshavn penalty area. McElhinney hooks the ball forward. Here's the goal scorer, Diallo, looking to bring it under control. He hooks it up towards the box. Goalkeeper a little bit hesitant there and coming for it. Kavanagh was nearly First to it, McAleeney wins it back, looks to chip it over the goalkeeper. It's in the back of the net, but it's not going to count. Referee's whistle had already signalled for a free kick. We're in the last 30 seconds. HB Torshavn maybe with one last chance here, right at the end of this tie. Morse, the goalkeeper, sends it forward. Flicked on up towards Dahl, the Danish frontman, the bald-headed striker. Here it comes towards Hansen. Now it's Davidson. Davidson sends it in towards the penalty area. Connolly hands it away out towards Justinason. Hansen looks it in towards the box again. Maher's coming for it. Ball drops inside the box. There's players have gone down, and then Duffy kicks that one into the stand, and the referee blows his final whistle, and Derry win 1-0. They go through by the narrowest of margins and progress through a round in Europe for the first time in 9 years since they knocked out Aberystwyth in 2014 and two Aberystwyth, Skonto-Riga, Gretna, Gothenburg and FK Lynn. They can now add the name of HB Torshavn to the sides that Derry City have beaten in European competition, but only just. The one goal across the two legs, scored by Sadou Diallo, a header in the first half, and it's a first win in Europe as a manager for Rory Higgins, and sets them up now for a two-legged tie with Kups Kuopio from Finland. They'll probably need to be a lot better in that two-legged tie if they're to keep their European journey alive. But Liam Foyle, at the end of the day, we said it at the start of the programme, tonight was all about the result. It was all about getting through, and in that regard, Derry have got the job done.
Well, they have, Eric, and that's the main thing. You're in the draw for the next round, so you know you've done that. You've done the hard part. Is one that they made hard work of it. There's no question about it. Lost control of it in the second half. Middle of field especially, just never got the grips with it. The physicality near the end nearly caught them out, but they held out well, defended really well. Brian Maher didn't really have anything to do, maybe apart from one save. I'm sure Rory will be delighted just to get through, and that's the main thing. Yeah,
I mean, a few nervy moments there at the end, which I think everybody inside the ground and the management and the board could have been doing without, but it's a deserved win in the end up. What about your man of the match?
Well, man of the match was Ben Doherty. I thought Ben Doherty was absolutely outstanding. He had a lot of defending to do second half down the right hand side especially. Never got forward as much, but when he did, he was the one Derry player looked like creating and nearly scored a great goal in second half. So Ben Doherty for me was Derry's best player on the night.
I mean, we're still on air to 10 o'clock, and Peter Hutton will be joining us as well shortly. He was the last Derry manager to guide them through a round in Europe, but you know, like, this could be the start of a bit of a run in Europe for Derry. We don't know all that much about their next opponents. Kups from Finland, obviously teams from that league have been playing Irish opposition in terms of in Larne, Helsinki, and then Haka against Crusaders, but you know, it's not to say that there isn't another round at least in this for Derry in Europe, and you know, who knows what this could be the start of.
100%. You don't know. You know, as you go on in it, you probably get better on it, and as Stephen Kenny's team proved in 2006, you know, you go through one round, maybe not at your best, then you can go through the second, but you know, if Derry play like that there, the way they did in the second half, they won't go any further. They're going to have to be a lot better.
Well, the home matches in the Cup keep coming. Athlone Town on Sunday, but the big focus, and I not want to slip up there, but the big focus will be back here next Thursday night when they will host Kups from Finland in the second qualifying round. Acclaim for the players from the home support here. It's a European victory here at the Brandywell. Diallo with the goal. The final score here in this second leg: Derry City 1, HB Torshavn 0, and Derry go through 1-0 on aggregate. Over to you, Desi.
Thanks to Liam and Eric. Liam will stay with us until 10 o'clock. Some games still playing, some games finished. Glentoran there into extra time at the Oval. McCullough put Jazeera from Malta 1-0 up on 67 minutes, and it looked like they were going to get through. They had a break in stoppage time when Jay Donnelly had a goal disallowed, but Bobby Burns, who missed the first half penalty for Glentoran, he scored 13 minutes into stoppage time to equalise for Glentoran, and that game is now in extra time. All over here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium, Derry City 1, HB Torshavn 0. Sadhu Diallo's goal in 23 minutes, 1-0 on aggregate. Derry City progressed to play Coops from Finland next week. At Oriel Park, Dundalk 3, the Magpies of Gibraltar 1. 3-1 on aggregate. Pat Hubin put Dundalk in front in 3 minutes. Joe equalised for the Magpies in 33, but John Martin in 48 and a Diaz own goal in 83 sees Stephen O'Donnell's side into the next round. At Richmond Park, it's not going to happen for St Pat's. They are going to exit the competition. They trail deep into stoppage time at Richmond Park by 3-2 against Dudelong from Luxembourg. Van Lingen put Dudelong in front on 9 minutes. Dupre with an own goal in 22 equalised for St Pat's, and Pat's actually went in front when Adam Murphy scored on the hour mark, but Van Lingen on 67 equalised and put Dudelong back in front on aggregate before Sidibe was sent off for the Luxembourg side on 88, but Van Lingen has just completed his hat-trick. Dudelong lead 3-2 on the night, and they lead 5-3 on aggregate against St Pat's, so the Dubliners are going out. At the Stadio Loro Barici in Albania, Vlasnia 1, Linfield 0. It finished on the night. Belaj with a goal in 54 minutes, but it wasn't enough for the Albanians. Linfield holding on to win 3-2 on aggregate in a very hot Albania tonight, believed to be 40 degrees there when that game is being played. And at Seaview, it's Crusaders 1, Haka from Finland 0. Paul Heatley with the goal on 74 minutes. There's 6 minutes remaining there, and Crusaders lead 3-2 on aggregate. Any further goals will bring you up to date with them as they go in. But let's reflect some more on this victory. Here with myself and Liam Coyle have been joined by Peter Hutton, and Peter, Derry made hard work of it.
Yeah, I mean, the last 10-15 minutes, you wouldn't want to be going through that all the time. It ended up like a basketball game in the last 10 minutes. Derry went forward, Torshavn went forward, and that just really, they should have killed the game off earlier in the game. I know Jamie had one or two chances, particularly the one in the second half where the keeper sort of kept it out with his foot. But if you take that chance in, the game's dead and buried, and you won it comfortably. And I'm sure them Rory would have liked to have made a few more changes, but given the game on Sunday as well.
Second half, they had the chances, and okay, everybody was delighted when the first goal went in, but that game wasn't over until that final whistle went, because they didn't take chances. They should have taken chances, and a second goal would have killed the Faroe Islands club.
First half they were more dominant. Second half it was a bit scrappy. It didn't really dominate the game at any stage in the second half particularly, and Torshavn always posed a threat. When it's 1-0 you're still always in dodgy territory, and anything could happen with it. You've seen they're renowned for being set piece specialists and stuff, and the long throws and corners in the box, and to be fair, once or twice Mark Connolly pulled them out with a good header. But even there was one time in particular when Michael Duffy made a 60-70 yard run back. He took the ball off the foot of the player who was about to cross or strike on goal. I mean, you shouldn't have to be doing that, but I mean, it just epitomised what Michael was about tonight.
But Liam, nerves at the end when there really shouldn't have been.
Well, as Peter said, and I said it in comment, they lost control the second half, and that's what happens. You allow teams who technically weren't the best. Peter will be able to tell you more about it playing against teams like that, but technically they weren't the best, so you should have been dominating them in the middle of the field. You shouldn't have been allowing them the chance to be putting throw-ins and set pieces and things like that. But as it happened, Derry started to drop a bit deeper, weren't in control the ball higher up the field. And once that happens, then your natural instincts kick on. Then they drop deep and protect what you have, rather than go and try and kill the match up. And then what happens then is you're hanging on then near the end. Now, to be fair, Brian Maher didn't really have anything to do, apart, but it was all in front of him, and anything could have happened. There's a couple were scuffed under the ground, or a couple of headers, could have went somewhere, but you don't want to be playing like that there. And as I said in thing, if they play like that in the next round, because you can bet your bottom dollar, then the team they're going to play next in Finland are going to be better than that there.
Saying that, Peter, Derry with a better side and deserve to go through.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think over the 2 games, particularly, especially over their second half, they were really dominant. And I thought first half they just followed on from where they left off over there, but they didn't capitalise on it really. They didn't finish them off. And if you leave it at 1-0, as Liam touched on, naturally then your instinct is you drop deeper and try and protect what you have, and you're inviting on pressure then, and anything can happen. And that's what happened tonight. They just subconsciously, they probably didn't even realise how deep they were dropping, but they weren't as committing as many men forward either. The midfielders weren't getting as high up the pitch and weren't pressing them, and they were allowing them to bring it out and pin Derry back, and with a long diagonal balls as well. I mean, all it takes is one chance, one goal, and you're back all square.
I took notes throughout the match. I think the first chance I wrote down for Torshavn was 67 minutes. Soilu, a shot along the ground that rolled onto Brian Maher's arms. They never looked like posing a threat until Derry got nervous and they just threw everything dead. Yeah,
and that's sort of the nature of the game, as I say. When human nature dictates, then you're starting to sit deep just to protect what you have. Whereas if Derry had got that second goal, it makes a massive difference, an absolute massive difference. But they didn't, unfortunately, and they've sort of invited the pressure on themselves by not sort of dictating and controlling the game and being braver in possession and pressing them higher up the pitch, which they did in the first half and in the second half over there in the Faroe Islands.
Liam, you give your man of the match to Ben Doherty, but a player that had a big influence in the first half and he was replaced in the second half, didn't have as much an influence in the second half. Patching Ben Doherty and Mickey Duffy were exceptionally good, and they didn't know how to deal with him in the first half.
Well, to be fair, the Torshavn second half, they changed their shape and just played or let Mickey and Ben have it out there without coming out of position. Peter, in the first half, the full-back was going in and they were just pinging it over his head. Mickey was spinning in, and then Ben Doherty was coming in, and they were all over the place first half. But second half, they sort of got the grips with it, but didn't really. And you could see Ben second half, the last 20 minutes, he never really got forward. You know, he was happy just to sit in there, defend, keep his position. And as Peter said, Mickey, you know, we always get from Mickey out. If he's not giving you going forward, he'll give it the working hard going back. And that's the way it was. That's where you don't want to see Mickey Duffy back. You want to see him up there. But unfortunately, for the last 15 minutes, it had to be done. But
because second half really, Mickey never really got under it.
Never got under it.
And nor did Ben.
No.
Whereas the first half, their link-up play was exceptional. Mickey Duffy's movement was frightening in terms of he was dragging the fullback inside and leaving that space for Ben Doherty to bomb on. But they were trying to double up on Michael Duffy, particularly when over there. And they tried to do the same here, but they couldn't because he was going inside and dragging the fullback didn't know whether to go inside or stay out.
But you're right, patching when they were playing that wee triangle, you know, it was played on. He would have dropped on, Ben would have come in outside, Mickey would have come in, you know, and the fullback was all over the place in the first half. And to be fair to them, they got the grips with second half. They made it difficult for.
But that's where everything that Derry created in the first half, and that's where the big threat was.
But there's no getting away from the fact that they were a poor side. You know, they were a poor side. Like, it's not to say that they're top drawer. Like, you know, Derry have made themselves look, you know, made hard work of a team that they would probably have won 2 or 3 against in the League Ireland here. You know,
and that's definitely going to come up against.
They're going to come up against better teams than that. You know.
They look on now and you move, and it's a Finnish side. Coops, they're top of their division, but they're only 3 or 4 points, I think, with maybe played more games than the HJK Helsinki side that were lucky to beat Larne last night. You can't read anything into that. You have to take each tie as it comes and see where the threats are. But Derry are going to have to play better.
Yeah, over the 2 games, definitely. I think the second half over there, the first half here, they completely dominated, but they didn't put away the team where they should have. Second half here, they had a few chances. They didn't take them. And if they had done that, it's a different proposition, and you don't have that in there every 10-15 minutes, particularly in Europe. You know, you got
to have more control.
Yeah,
you got to have more control.
Very much possession.
It is, and if you give away ground in the middle of the field, especially against better teams, then they will hurt you. They will dominate the ball, and you know the last thing you want to be doing is sitting in your 18-yard line defending throw-ins and set pieces and corners. You know that's
Yep.
You know, that's not what you want to be playing. You want to be playing up here, having the ball and dominating. I think just in the second half, you know, you can see Patchy tiring. Patrick coming on, you thought doesn't look 100% fit. So, you know, they're going to, and Dummigan ran out of steam as well too, second half, you know what I mean? So they all need game time as well. As they go on, they'll get better, there's no doubt about it, but they've got to get up to match fitness.
There's a time in the second half Dummigan had a swing at it.
He's very lucky. He's lucky he didn't catch him.
But how did Derry approach the home first leg next week? Because it's essentially they'll probably need to take a lead to Finland.
Ideally, yeah. I think probably the first half they'll probably go out and see what they're like. I don't think they can go out full force and sort of, because they could get opened up very easily if they leave gaps at the back as well. I think they'll obviously have done their homework in terms of the video analysis and all the rest of it. They'll make sure they know what they want to do. But again, I would imagine that this team are going to be a better proposition than the Torshavn. And again, it's about keeping the ball better and taking your chances when it comes to you.
What do you expect, Liam? What would be fair, do you think? What are the expectations? Is there pressure? Derry have got through a European tie for the first time in I don't know how many years. I think Peter was the boss the last time.
But to be fair, the Derry legends could have been that team.
Don't know.
But you look at the results and the from the Irish League and the League Ireland tonight. You know, there's no easy games. You know, there's no. You know, Pats. I think Pats have gone out.
Pats are out, yeah.
You know, Glentoran are still playing. Are they?
Glentoran scored 13 minutes on the stoppage time.
You know, so you look at all the end games. There's very little in them, and even Torshavn here tonight. So next week, Peter's right. You know, the video analysis. A team will probably sit down this week and they'll have videos and they'll watch what way they're going to play, what way they're going to line up. I know Paddy and Rory and Sean Barrett went out to the Faroe Islands a couple of weeks ago and watched them. So. You know, I don't know if they're going to do the same this week.
Probably don't have time.
Don't have time. That's what I'm thinking. So it's probably going to come down to video stuff. So Peter's right then. And the problem that sets out then is, you know, the video doesn't give you a proper thing. It shows you what way they're going to play, but it doesn't give you the tempo that they're playing at when you're watching. So you don't really know what they're going to be like, you know, unless, you know, Rory has got information about them from somebody over there. Like, so it's going to be hard to say because we don't know what they're going to be like. And as I said, you look around at the leagues, the teams tonight, you know, everybody, Glentoran should have went through easy. Probably Pats we're looking at going through. Dundalk have gone through, and the draw is so important to who you get, and that's unfortunately.
Rory will just tick it on the board, the analysis and what information they have on them. Try and minimise their threat, wherever it's coming from, but more so focus on themselves and trying to improve in certain areas, and particularly in the final third, and try and sort of dominate possession more, because they give it away the night they had the game in the palm of their hands, and then they sort of through, as I say, I think they just lacked a wee bit of bravery in the second half and staying on the ball and keeping possession that wee bit better and pushing men forward and
go try and kill the game off.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas just probably human nature too, they were sitting and holding what they had. You know what I mean? But it's a very slender lead, 1-0. You know what I mean? They'd be sort of playing that.
And there's an FA, they begin the defence of the FAI Cup on Sunday against Athlone. People will be expecting, like they were expecting tonight, Derry to go out and run over a team. But really, regardless of Athlone on Sunday, there are players that maybe haven't got a lot of game time on the bench. He'd want to give them an opportunity, but he has to have an eye on Europe. There's so much money in European football now. It's imperative that you try and go as far as you can.
Yeah, no, again, but as you say, there's going to be players sitting on the bench who haven't kicked the ball in a few weeks. I know some of the players played for the 19s on Sunday. So again, they need game time. Do you know what I mean? And you want to keep a happy dressing room as well. And players want to play. No matter who you are, where you're coming from, you want to play. You've worked hard all week, you want to play. And irrespective if it's in the FAI Cup or it's in Europe, you want to play at the end of the week. So again, I think you would probably see a few faces change of personnel come Sunday, because in an ideal world, Derry should be seeing off Athlone at home, particularly in the Cup.
So, what do you do now between now and then? You've been a manager. Do you look and say, right, let's just get through Athlone, but you have to have an eye on next Thursday?
Oh, definitely. You'll be thinking with the possibility.
It probably helps the fact that they're at home here too in the first leg next week.
It does, definitely. It does. with the travelling and things like that too. But again, he'll still want a strong base defensively on Sunday. Not to give anything away, but again, I think he'll probably, the likes of Jordan McAniff and players like Kieran Collins and that, I would say they'll get a run out. Do you know what I mean? And freshen it up just to make sure that the boys have plenty of fresh legs come around next Thursday.
How important to Derry is the FAI Cup then?
Massive, Desi now. You know, because a couple of bad results in the league, you're out of the league again. Whereas the cup keeps your season alive, it keeps you going. And you can see last year how important it was to everybody, not just the club, but everybody in the town, how important it was to get to that final. And I'm sure the players now, you've seen that last year. You bring in 30,000 down to the Aviva last year.
Yeah.
They'll all be looking to do the same thing this year again. So you want to stay in the cup for as long as you can, but
the cup's always been held high regard.
Yeah, it really does. But you know yourself, Peter, when you were managing and playing, the further you go in Europe, the more it takes it out of you as well too.
100%.
And that's the problem, man.
Yeah.
And you look at Derry's squad, is it big enough to cope with all them games? You look at Shamrock Rovers they just about got over the line last year with it. So you have to weigh up all them. You have to balance that on it as well too. So it's a big couple of weeks now for Rory and everybody at the club.
Elsewhere, Dundalk through, Pats out, Shamrock Rovers probably they were beaten by a better side, the Icelandic side in the Champions League. But how will the league view that? Sort of Derry and Dundalk, probably you looked at the draw and expected both to go through.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Derry are just parking the league now at the minute. They're looking to just get through this sort of week now. Do you know what I mean? With as few injuries or anything like that. Shamrock Rovers, I don't think you can look too much ahead under the European games at the moment. Like, do you know what I mean? It's as Liam just touched on, but the further you progress, the more impact it will have in your season. Naturally, I think we could testify. I know from my own experience, 2006, the European run, whilst it was great and fantastic and all the rest, cost us the treble. We lost it in goal difference. Do you know what I mean? So there's 2 or 3 games where we came back after a European game and we just couldn't get the win. Do you know what I mean? Which probably would have stood us in good stead. But again, it's over a course of a season, and that's where you need everybody fit and everybody healthy.
Trying to keep everybody happy.
That's the massive one too. And that's why I say I think there'll be a few changes come Sunday.
Been chatting to a few people from the Nuffle Premiership and what they expected from their sides, and Larne probably a reason that they didn't beat HJK Helsinki last night. 3 teams in Conference League action tonight. Crusaders have just won, they are through. Linfield lost tonight but won on aggregate against an Albanian outfit. Glentoran are still in extra time. The 3 teams tonight could go through, and many doubted the fact that they haven't got a summer season. They aren't in competitive action yet, that would cost them, but it looks like it's a decent return, and they're beginning to realise the benefits of the money accrued from Europe.
Well, they come back a bit early. I think they start a bit earlier now, don't they? The Irish League clubs, they come back, and I think it's the middle of June, isn't it now?
Yeah, but the clubs you've mentioned now too, they're all full-time.
They're all full-time. They're all full-time clubs.
That's massively now in the north. I mean,
And the thing, you know yourself, Peter, you're not playing against the same calibre of teams as you did years ago. At this stage of the competition now, you're playing against teams similar or just below.
Of course.
So if you're up to speed with your training and stuff like that, you've always a chance of going through. You know what I mean? Whereas before, you were up against better quality, and you coming back pre-season, and you were always going to struggle against them. But now, as you say, the full-time teams now, there's no excuses.
No, definitely not. And I know there's still a ongoing debate in the north whether they move to the summer season. I mean, and it's sort of a bit of a hot potato. Some would prefer much. I would say the vast majority of the managers would like to move to the summer season, but the powers that be won't allow it at the moment. Or just that they let them be more competitive in the European season.
Peter Hutton, Liam Coyle, thanks for that. We're into the final minute of the programme. Let's recap the scores. Glentoran still 1-1 in extra time against Gezira from Malta. Derry City have beaten HP Torshavn 1-0. Dundalk 3-1 winners against the Magpies. St Pat's are out, losing 5-3 in aggregate against Doodalong. Linfield lost 1-0 in Albania tonight, but won 3-2 in aggregate. Crusaders, they won 1-0 thanks to Paul Heatley's 74th minute goal. Well, that's it from Foyle Sports Sound for another night. We're back on Sunday when Derry begin the defence of their FAI Cup. We'll have a reaction to tonight's game on the Northwest Today programme tomorrow morning. But from everyone who brought you tonight's programme, Darrell Harkin back in BBC Radio Foyle Studios, Eric White, Liam Coyle, Peter Hutton and myself, Dessie McCallion, here at Brandywell. Thanks for joining us. Good night.